Day 1 of Blooming Til Summer. Here's just where I'm trying to learn something every single day. I love learning. I think learning is enjoyable and fun when it is something that you want to do and you have the motivation and the courage and the drive to want to learn it. So I have all of these things that I want to learn, but with that, learning things often takes time. And so I decided to do a series where I try to learn something, where I focus in on different skills and tasks and talents and traits and things I want to learn and do to improve myself. And I will use this time slot to do it. I kind of created a little layout of all the different things I want to learn. And by using this time period to learn all the things I want to learn, I slowly will begin to master and gain new talents and skills, which is really exciting. The very first thing I'm going to learn is clay. I'm so excited. Day 2 of learning new things. Currently I'm on a series of trying to learn to work with clay. I'm going to try to make a clay ashtray for Mr. Roy the cook. We'll see how it turns out. Already, first issue I'm running into is having a hard time opening this with my nails. I'm going to be honest, this is all new. I have all of these tools that I got from Amazon. I have this filled with water, so we'll see. That's a pretty good size. The one tool I forgot to get was a roller, so I'm using this and hoping for the best. I feel like it looks like a lily pad. Day 3 of learning something new. I'm still on the series of learning clay. My clay ashtray, which turned to look like a lily pad, is still drying. So I'm kind of still at the phase of just waiting. So I'm thinking I'm going to probably paint it and turn it into a lily pad, but it turned out okay. The bottom's a little bit not completely flat, so next time I want to make sure I'm on a better surface. The sides look like I joined it in pretty well, but there still looks like there's a little gap, so I probably should have used a little bit more water and used this tool to conjoin the top of the ashtray to the bottom of the ashtray. I also think I needed to use more water just to smooth it out more and get different tools to really make sure I smooth out the surface, because once it's smooth and starts to dry, then it'll turn out a little bit better. That way I don't have to file down as much once it's completely finished. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow so we can get to painting it once it's completely. Day 4 working with clay. Here's the clay ashtray that we kind of made. It looks like a lily pad to me. It dried pretty good. Looking at it completely dry, there's a few cracking, so that means I should have used more water and smoothed it out a little bit more. I also did not properly join the lip of the ashtray to the bottom of the ashtray, and I'd also want to use a more flat surface so the bottom actually sits properly straight. So now that it is all dry, we are going to paint it. It looks like a lily pad to me, so I'm going to go for green and try to make it a lily pad. We will see how it turns out together. So I'm using acrylic paint that I got from Ross. Hopefully it works. So that last part was a fail. I was trying to add lines like this. I ended up messing it up, so I had to put a blob of green to cut. I'm gonna let it dry and we'll finish tomorrow. All right, day 5 of trying to learn clay. So the paint is officially dried. Looking at it with the paint, I hate it. This is why I dislike creating, because I am too harsh on myself. I start something and it doesn't turn out how I want it to turn out in my mind, and now the only thing I want to do with this is just throw it in the garbage. Like, it's not perfect, it's not how I want it to look, just throw it in the garbage. But the only way that I'm going to learn and grow is by trying and making and creating. So this is the first of many. I'm going to try to add some more details and see if I can turn it to look a little bit nicer. And then hopefully the next clay ashtray I make turns out better. I use white paint to outline the lily pad. I just had to continue to go over this white to make it more opaque. I also added the white to the lid of the ashtray, or the lip of the ashtray, and then used the white to create a lily flower and then put pink over that to make it look more vibrant. Day 6 of learning something new and learning and working with clay. Adding the details really kind of changed the way that clay ashtray looked. I feel like it looks kind of more like a lily pad. I still don't like it entirely, but I'm only gonna get better. This is the first ashtray I made. The next step that I have to do, so the very next step is to add some glaze to it. So I have sculpted satin glaze. This was like the most expensive part for it, but I'm supposed to brush this onto the clay ashtray and then let it dry. It takes 30 minutes between coats, so if you want to add a double coat, 30 minutes, then do your second coat and then let it dry for 24 hours. So we'll see how it turns out with it. I actually really like how it started to turn out once I added the lily and all of those extra little small details. Alright, so I hope it doesn't dry streaky. I guess we'll see in 24 hours. Day 7 of learning art. I'm really happy with how my lily ashtray turned out. It wasn't intended to be a lily ashtray, it's just kind of how it turned out. That's what I'm kind of learning with my art, is just to make and create and go with the flow and go with what I see. And so it's all glossy. I could have maybe did another coat of gloss to make it more shiny. I think it turned out pretty cute. Here's what it looks like all shiny, and if you were not to add any, that's what the paint would look like. Not as glossy, I guess, or finished. Looking at it, I really should have smoothed it out a lot more. Oops, I just ripped off paint. Oops, that's not too good. Probably get better paint too, would be another thing that's more opaque, or do multiple layers. But it's my first ashtray and she's so cute.